football. We're back where we started. The crowd ready for action. 20 points each only. Will it break open? And if so, when and which way will it go? We're about to find out. And the first salvo perhaps going West Coast way. Not with any great conviction yet, but Shepherd takes the mark after the Selwoods got things going. Deep into the 50. Hill is ranging out, looking pretty good. They swap roles there with Lynch playing a big man playing a small man. And it just went across, although Cox decides to try and keep it in, and that's a pretty good ending for them.
Jared, you're just like a bloke with Quentin Lynch's experience there to either kick the goal with a drop punt or banana it around. He did neither in the end.
Oh, Natanui. Handball of that for Selwood. Gee, the percentage is a little low on a couple of counts there. And the umpire said it's still there for you to play, fellas.
Scotty Selwood's one of the midfield for the Eagles. It's probably just off a little bit.
Pavlich bombs. Main outnumbered, but did well to break even and did better than that in the end. Emerges, and so does McFarlane, and look who's off and streaming through the middle. Ballantyne, little sidestep, presses, paused for a moment, then worked things out in his mind and decided, I'll just give it all I got. Griffin, not quite. There's De Boer popping up at the right spot. Selwood, Griffin goes again. Crichton, they're fighting each other for the footy.
Oh, he's pinned him.
And he's pinned him because it's his teammate holding it in. Interesting.
Didn't make the most of that opportunity, Hayden Ballantyne. I don't think he had to balk and come back sideways. No, it was a one-on-one. Could have got it in there a little bit quicker and penetrated the kick rather than stick it in the air.
Low Waters takes gaff. Outside defensive 50, and they're outward bound again, the Eagles, through Schofield. Just meandering along. Look at that, he sold it beautifully. And Stroll's now away, and they've got to half forward, all on the back of his great run from Will Schofield. He might fancy himself here, all the way from defence. It was worth a goal. Stand up and applaud that one. Will Schofield.
Well, what a run by Schofield. That was just a cracking run. Here's the dummy first off by the defender. He sold it to Mundy. That was a pretty average effort by Mundy there. But then he just took it on, got the handball from Prittis, took a bounce, sized it up. Darling was on, but he thought, I'm going to have a crack here. I'm on fire. I'll slot it myself. You blokes can't do it. I'll kick the goal myself. And he did. Well,
he's watched his half-back flankers kick goals all year. He thought he needs to get a piece of the action.
Old Mundy, I've seen him a couple of times today. He's good when he gets it, but his defensive pressure would not be up to line standard.
Will Schofield, he must have thought he was somebody else there. He went forward and kicked a brilliant goal. It was just what West Coast needed and just what Fremantle need to respond to. Barlow set sail to half forward. Oh, Neil was just about ready to make the great escape. Better give it back quickly. Shannon Hearn. Delicate, careful little operation through centre half back Butler.
They've got the loose now.
Prittis decided to be conservative and go short. He knew he had the loose on. Creative stuff from Rose with a little give and get back, and then Butler kept on coming. They've got good system at the moment, the Eagles. They've started in sprightly fashion in this second term.
Gee, how many times have we seen them mark deep in that corner of the ground today? They get pushed out there because of the numbers back. But as we said, they practice from there a lot. It's obviously an area where they're quite comfortable with. So once again, a very tough shot from close to where the 50-metre line is.
He would have kicked 25 goals during the course of the week of training at this angle.
Oh, hello. Darling would like to go back and kick. He's going to get 50. Is it about to explode a little here at Patersons Stadium?
Eagles ball. Don't do anything silly. Walk away, right?
Considerably easier shot for Darling, and they lead by 12. The whole umpire hasn't got the all clear. He's had to run a long way to get it.
So did Kerr get hit again? Was that what happened?
That's what he said.
In the guts,
What's happened? A whack in the guts and a free kick against somebody, and the somebody will be in the gun. And Ross Lyon, he cannot believe it. He's exasperated with the ease with which the last goal to Schofield was allowed to unfold. And I'm sure when he gets a look at the video, he'll make a judgment on whether or not Ryan Crowley was a dill or not.
Well, he's given away free kicks today, Ryan Crowley, now.
I think he can give them away in various places, but not when there's a bloke having a shot 45 metres out and he goes and kicks a goal from 1 metre out.
Suddenly it is out to 12 points here at Patersons Stadium. Situation critical early in the third quarter for Fremantle. Just what West Coast were after. Shuey escapes from Pavlich, and it's been played on West Coast terms at the moment. They're out of the middle. They've been forced back a fair way, but they've got numbers drifting to this side. Waters usually finds his man, and he doesn't quite. Although McGinnity might get it in the end. Good pressure from Duffield, but great running support from Shuey. Cox doubles back to the goal square. Shepherd might go for him or go over his head. And he went for glory. Out of behind results.
And Jared, just with David Mundy, who's been a prime midfielder, he is really just struggling to get back to his best. Just didn't read the flight of that ball, overcommitted. 30
disposals to 7 in this third quarter. West Coast Eagles way. Four inside 50s to 1.
Can they minimise the damage, Fremantle? Oh, Waters was looking for mark of the year. He had to climb over Mount Sandalers, though, and that was not easy. De Boer, that was either a miss or a brilliant, delicate tap for Pavlich. One or the other. Pav versus Selwood, and the skipper wins the day. Mzungu just tumbled the ball up into the 50, and at the moment they're hard to get past. McKenzie took it and gave it off with instructions. Marston told to run and kick, and Shepherd out wide on the wing. Cox delayed the kick. Cox came. It was pretty audacious kick, really, and that's not a great handball. Gave it straight back to Hill, who's got a few tricks in the bag, and he doesn't mind expressing himself just like that.
How popular is that corner of the game been, Jared, over there where they practice their goals for training?
Well, 3 for 3. They've just brought it down that outside Chris Main wearing wing side, and each and every time they've gone into the difficult spot. In fact, they've worked their way inside it. Fremantle want to give them opportunities like this little errant handball. And Josh Hill, he just pops through an absolute beauty.
Well, Josh Hill will be right up there as the most improved player in the AFL in season 2012. Superb goal. Life has become awfully difficult, and it's getting tougher for Fremantle right now. They're inside again, and Hill goes to work. McGinnity had to run around it, but that wasn't a problem. There was Fremantle jumpers coming from every side. As it turned out, it was too difficult to forge a path and have a ball up.
23 clearances to 10. West Coast Eagles killing Freo in the midfield.
Cox, Hill.
They're just getting too many clearances free of charge. Even wingmen are coming off the side of the square and getting involved.
It's easy to see why he did it, but you just can't afford to kick them up like that. Because they're going to come back with interest. Shepherd. Again, the percentages were pretty low. Darling keeps it alive. For how long? Silvani to Mundy. Hearn. Ballantyne.
Tackle.
Switch from attacker to defenders so quickly then, Hearn. Winning around the edges at the moment, West Coast. Even when Fremantle are getting hands to the ball, this relentless pressure is sending it back West Coast way. Hearn, beautiful service for Cox.
And young Shepherd is certainly standing up in this third quarter. He's really getting into it.
He's had 5 so far in this term alone. Cox is told that time was up. So again, goes towards Lynch in the square. Crashed the pack. Hill. That wasn't far away either.
8 inside 50s to 2, so West Coast dominating the play.
It must be one of the scariest things in footy to be a defender down there, and you know big Quentin Lynch is coming at you, and over the top of him comes Nick Natten to his boots.
Sandilands camped at half-back. You think Fremantle need to just try and get some possession of the footy here, or do they have to just keep attacking and try and force a goal?
Both, really. I mean, it's 43 disposals to 19, so they just haven't been getting their hands on the ball.
They're do hold on for a little while here. Let's see whether they decide to press go or just inch by inch it down the ground. Johnson goes for the latter at this stage. Crichton. Good move from Main to give him another option, but he decides to go it alone. Now he uses Main on the way towards goal. Pavlich leading back towards goal. Clark's about 30 out. Doesn't see him. Instead, he kicks into the maze. Oh, it's a ball! Oh, that was a leap for the ages, but he didn't bring it down, which is extremely disappointing for those who love the high flyers.
You don't get much higher than that. That was a huge leap. He got a big boost when he got up. Here he goes on the back of Quentin Lynch. Wow.
Quentin felled him and gave him a little giddy up, but they've got it where they want it. And now they've got to lock it in. They haven't really run hard enough in this term into defence. I reckon Ross Lyon will be filthy on that. Now they've got it forward. They've got to press up, keep the ball in there until they score.
Yeah, that grab, that might have been grabbed from De Boer. Would have been the mark of the year so far, I suspect.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Butler. Did it?
I think it was Jeremy Howe we heard from Melbourne cheering when he went to ground.
Well, he's going. He'll take a few anyway. How?
There hasn't been a lot of joy for the Demons, obviously, thus far. Up to the wing. Here's Hill. He'll be a candidate at some stage as well, you suspect. Johnson tried to stretch the handball, but it went straight back to Hill. He was having a purple patch in this quarter. Clark got himself into a little bit of trouble. And the sub's been made. I think that's Van Berlo, wasn't it, out there, who was stripped of the footy. Now the Eagles streaming forward, and Shuey's got it in very capable hands. Steadied, tried to make sure of it. Oh, Darling stuck inside, and that's another one to the Eagles. They can't stop them right now.
Yeah, the sub has been made. They needed the run. Griffin's come from the ground. Van Berlo on, but to no effect at this stage. That's just one group playing at one level of intensity and the other group playing at finals intensity. The Dockers haven't been able to sustain it so far in this third quarter.
The West Coast Eagles have kicked 4 goal two in 12 minutes of footy. It's 26 points. They only got 20 points for the whole first half.
Oh, they've cranked it up, the West Coast, in this third term. There's the sub, which has been made.
And Griffin going off the ground means that their structure changes significantly, and they go back to what we've seen thus far this season. Pavlich goes deep as the tall forward, and they have the extra runner on the ground.
Sandlin's desperate to make a contribution, both in the ruck and once it hit the ground.
They've also gone into damage control here, the Dockers. Duffield just floating as a spare man in defence, which means the Eagles get what they want again. Yeah. That is the big bombs from Waters and Hearn. Don't be surprised if they kick a goal in this term.
It also means life's difficult to actually score for Freo. Pavlich has got 2 against him at the moment at the top of the goal square. If Fremantle do happen to win this stoppage, which is not happening very often. Certainly can't blame Ross Lyon. He's trying something at least, Jared, in making the sub.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had the tactical win to half-time. I think he'd be devastated with this first 5 minutes. It's really just robbed him of any flexibility. I reckon he wouldn't have been wanting to make that sub until at least another 20 minutes into this quarter.
So everything going the Eagles' way right now. Gaff scooting away. Change the angle on the kick at the end to make sure there was no damage done. Hill, Marston, he's got Waters further ahead, just drifting as you suggested, Jared, but he decides that Cox or Darling. You hear the gasp from the crowd as he also was close to dragging down a big grab.
Yeah, the use of the ball for the West Coast Eagles has just been so much better. In this third quarter, they're going at world record pace, 83%, which is about 10% higher than what sides average in the AFL.
Sandlin's Kurt finds some rare space.
We did say, Hutto, the side that uses the ball better in the second half will win the game, and they've certainly done that.
Just notice, ground level here, body language says a lot, and I just reckon Fremantle just dropped their bundle a little bit because West Coast kicked those 3 or 4 quick ones. They just got to go back to their disciplines. They're right still into this game, but they've just got to maintain possession and make good decisions going forward.
Yeah,
oh, Natanui! Even higher than the last one!
How good was that? He comes from 3 deep. And he gets about a metre higher than everyone else.
Is that better than Howes?
Oh, it's the hottest ticket in, well, probably Australia. Come and watch Nick Natanui do his thing. And then he just kicks it into the forward pocket. It's out of bounds.
He did that deliberately so we can watch the replay now 5 times.
He learned from Jeremy Howe last week.
Very smart boy.
Look at that.
Oh, Zach Clark might have a sore head. It's almost unfair. He gets so much higher. Need a pair of those boots.
Good stuff here from Sandlands. Somebody is, and here we go. Somebody is going to have to lead from the front for the Dockers if they're to get back into this match.
Lynch crafts a kick, does keep it in play. Not sure it's in the boots, actually. Really.
Oh, okay.
And here was Hutto at half-time, having half a sook that he hadn't been calling any big goals, and within the space of 5 minutes we've had 2 potential goals of the year, and, well, almost a goal of the year and another contender.
It's been an action-packed one, but not so good if you're a Fremantle supporter.
Waters.
Yeah, life's still dangerous. Waters. Main. Waters is tackling and harassing. Carrying on with the Eagles' mantra in this turn. Their determination has resulted in 4 goals, 3.
He's coming to the bench, Nick Nat. He's going to get a standing ovation.
Well, if he had a dicey hammy coming in, I'd have to see him fit.
Broughton. The ball. Zungu out there on the outside, though. The Eagles at the moment getting good service. Gaff. Probing ball, extra number with the Dockers, but Hill in the perfect position and really should have done more with it.
Yeah, that's easy for opportunist forward. He should just eat those up. But Fremantle, if they're going to be a serious finals contender here, they need to stand up and really respond, because at the moment the West Coast Eagles have got them on the ropes and they don't look like they can go the distance at the moment, the Dockers.
Just had a look at Paul Duffield as a spare man. At the other end of the ground, they've got half-forwards or half-backs just bombing it in. Well, Duffield is just watching the ball go over his head. And I'm wondering whether you think it's better off manning up at the other end of the ground or have the value of the extra player in defence with guys spinning through the stratosphere around your ears.
Well, Clark trying to get involved and help the Eagles out along the half-back line. Little kick over the top from Crowley, and there's Cox. Pulling it up again.
At the moment, Jared, the way they're playing, it might be just good to man up and just play accountable footy, because they're getting their pants pulled down at the moment. They're using the ball so much better than Freo.
If you're going to have a spare, you've got to run, and you've got to run hard, and you've got to look to link them up. You know, long bombs down the line to an outnumbered pack of Eagles is just a waste of time.
Good grab from Daniel Kerr. Dean Cox was there, but he, in the end, let Kerr go for it.
Only had 9 disposals, Kerry, but he's under a very tight tag.
Sets it up. Dawson for a moment was worried the umpire was going to whistle him for the infringement. Darling's underneath all of that.
Let's just take a look whilst there's a stoppage at where Paul Duffield is. Here comes the long bomb in. There's Duffield front of the 2 boys side by side. And he's just not impacting on the contest at all. And it really should have been a goal for Josh Hill.
And if you have a loose and they use it well, that loose at the other end can be ineffective, and clearly in this quarter they're using a lot better.
Another blood rule for Daniel Kerr coming off the round.
That's why I think Bo Waters is just so dangerous as a loose. He would have crashed that pack.
And Hearn.
Back in motion again. And Gaff certainly is. Busts a little move and tries to work it back towards goal. The degree of difficulty was too high along the line. Broughton gets it out of there as quick as possible. That was high contact.
Gee, they're lucky that last stoppage, because they had Gav and Shuey, goal side, able to just run into space. Lucky they didn't get a goal kick against them. They just got to get their structures and set ups right here, Fremantle.
They've shot up shop. Pavlic's off the ground having a rest. I reckon they need his big body. They're just being out-muscled and out-bullied in a lot of these contests. Maybe they've got to put a Ballantyne, have a real gamble at having a super short full forward line and play fast break footy.
Great little nifty pass from Rosa. Good stuff from Dawson and Shepherd. No, they took a backward step. And the ball ends up over the chalk at half forward for West Coast. Those Eagles fans out there in the sunshine are on their feet. They're loving what they're seeing.
It's absolutely packed here today, and why would you be when the Eagles are going to be 8-1 and up on, might be on top of the ladder if they can win by a big score today.
It's nice work by Dawson, nevertheless. Levy's man took the punt.
Shuey. And Josh Hill's found a nice little niche for himself. And he's in that productive forward pocket at the moment, or half forward.
It's unbelievable how much ball's been on that side of the ground, but this will test him. He'll have to kick from probably 51, 52 metres, but he missed the early one, easy one before. He's probably likely to go back and slot this.
Well, he's had a sider earlier.
No.
He's just looking for someone else to take mark of the year. Setting it up to the goal square. And the duress there was Barlow. And she's over and out again. So there's still plenty of time for Fremantle if they can mount some sort of counter-attack. The lights are on, which is a bit
people
curious.
complain about their power bills over here. We're not helping them out by putting the lights on in sunny Perth.
They're not heaters, Jacko, are they?
No.
Zungu. Oh, here's Waters. Herning boarded, he wanted to be a little adventurous, but decides that Quinton Lynch is within scoring range.
Get the glove off, Q. Come on, big fella. Thrill the crowd.
He just doesn't take it off these days as much.
I think it chews up too much of his time when he's allocated 30 seconds.
He is due to unload a big one, though.
Come on, the big fella.
So they'll be riding it home with a West Coast crowd. Confident. He went back even further than he had to.
Stabbed it.
And he's looking for some sort of land record there.
That was ridiculous.
Bizarre, wasn't it? Oh, that's a dangerous kick in. He'll be within range, Hearn, if he could have dragged that one down. And he's trying to pull his way through. Got it to Marston and then to Gaff. Nice little quick step. Tried to sum it up. They've missed a few opportunities here to put this game away. Now, it's hard to mount a case for Fremantle.
Which presents a magnificent opportunity for Fremantle. Go against the run of play, kick two before three-quarter time, and make this game alive.
It's been 18 inside 50s to 3 in this third quarter.
It's been a total domination, and they just can't get out of here. Now, Clark can help them do that. Broughton. Pavlic's not in the right spot. He knows it. He works back hard on McKenzie. Surplus numbers with the Eagles. Selwood, and again they use those numbers.
Fair to say he lacked a lot of polish, that kick coming off the half-back line. In comparison to the Eagles, and they have got two pieces, like two chess pieces on either side of the board that are almost impossible to bypass. Hearn and Waters.
Yeah, and Lynch can give it a fair heave as well. He does out to Waters.
The crowd a little bit frustrated, calling Shannon Hearn to kick that ball because Nick Nat was one-on-one with Zach Clark. You've got to feel sorry for Zach Clark because I think he was happy that he didn't kick the ball in his direction.
You wouldn't want to be a forward in Freo's team, would you, at the moment? The way they're bringing the ball in, it's impossible.
Well, not this quarter, you'd be stiff.
Shuey continues to show why he's such a highly rated young midfielder.
Since quarter time, boys, the stats are alarming. 34 inside 50s to 13. 6 goals 10 to 2 goals 2.
And clearances 19 to 11 in that period of time as well. So first hands on the footy. Been productive for the Eagles. Took a little while to show on the scoreboard, but now the margin is 29 in a low-scoring game. Fremantle, as Jacko said, just need to find a way of getting a goal in this quarter.
Rose has had 27 disposals, 6 inside 50s and 3 clearances, leading the whole every player on the ground for disposals.
With the grasp again of Pritis. Hill's got Rosa covered. Four minutes still to go in this third quarter. Clark, but Pritis was in the best position. Nice little bow. Crowley and Broughton need to sort things out better amongst themselves. I think Mzungu might be in trouble here. No, the umpire said quite have that prior.
Just since they were ball watching that time, Hutto, they've got to show some urgency. There's plenty of game time left for them to get in this, but just ball watching at the minute, Fremantle.
Adanui, Clark, Pritis. Once again, they're all sardined in on the wing. It's another bounce. Hugely damaging third quarter for the West Coast Eagles. 4 goals, 6. 15 more inside 50s. Fremantle just behind to their name.
Their ball winner's not getting it, Hutto.
Yeah.
The likes of Hill, Mazungu, Mundy, they've had about 6 possessions between them in this term.
The Eagles just racking them up.
Hill's only had 9 for the game, Jared, to back that one up. Hill, not enough for a midfielder. Mundy, 12. Valentine, 13. Crowley's only had 2 for the game, trying to do a job on Kerr, who's only had 10.
Jacko, the Eagles sub's been made.
Yes, it has. Sam Butler's come out of the game for Jacob Brennan, but Sam Butler, I think, got a knock in the lower leg. I saw him limping after a contest, so maybe that could be the result of it, because strangely, Sam Butler's been a good player for him. Yep,
certainly has. Hasn't had too many passengers, the Eagles. Pritis with his trademark determination and grit, getting it forward, helping the cause some more. Marston. Another ball up, so 40 metres out from goal is Sam Butler.
It'll be hard to beat, Jared, aren't they, West Coast Eagles, if they get their players back in the second half of the year.
Adanui doing the spectacular even from the ball ups.
I think they're going to be hard to beat no matter, as long as they don't lose many more. They've just got the hunger and they've got the setup with the tools up in that forward line. They've got a really potent defence. Josh Hill has just been a significant player for them as a recruit.
Yeah, look with LeCras and Likoski going down, he's really stepped up. Schofield now is doing a job for him, as is Mackenzie down in the back to help Darren Glass. That was probably one of their weaker areas.
Adanui. He wants Darling to be a contender as well by the look of the setup. It's a push going Frio's way.
I think Ross Lyon is going to sit back in the last 30 minutes and just have a very good look at where his team is at and just see how much fight they've got left in this group. Because they've given virtually nothing in this turn. They've just allowed themselves to be bullied. The ball's being played in the opposition's forward half. There's been no forward pressure, and that was the key issue in their game in the first half. It's just almost unrecognisable, this Docker outfit, from the first hour of footy.
Yeah, their runs really dropped away at the moment.
One of the criticisms that's going to be building, Jared, is 21 points for 3 quarters. Just their inability to kick a winning score.
Yeah, I understand that, but it all comes down to class and use of the ball. I think the way they set up was really good. I thought Ross had a fantastic day coming in. The amount of times they wasted the ball going into their forward 50 is what Ross Lyon will be talking about, not the scoreboard. You hit targets, they could have been another 3 or 4 goals on the scoreboard.
Jacko, they've been keen to get Morabito back into this team. He's not far away, is he?
Let's hope not. He's been playing for Peel Thunder. A few complications, but he is one player I think all of WA's waiting to watch come back into the fold.
Rosa pops it up to the square. Lynch stays down. There's a shove. And it's a West Coast free.
Was it really? I thought Hill was the one.
Well, Hill contributed to it as well, so the umpire was the first one.
Well, that is poor defence. When you're 2-on-1, the last thing you needed to do was to do that. They've almost put up the flag, have they, Jared?
Yeah, it's real.
What do you think, Roo?
Dagger here, isn't it?
Well, 21 inside 50s to 3 would they're not that much better, are they?
So Hill, 5th goal of the quarter. And the West Coast Eagles.
I think the skipper, Matty Pavlich, is going to have to get out of the forward line, get in the middle, start rallying the troops and say, boys, come on, this is not good enough. This is embarrassing at the moment. We're not that bad. We need to fight this game out, get into 3/4 time without any more damage, because at the moment this is just unacceptable.
Well, that's unacceptable. Well, that is rubbish. You're a back pocket. You push your bloke straight in the back. You give away a free kick 20 metres out. That's nonsense.
Yeah, extremely disappointed by Paul Duffett. He's an experienced player. Just got to be more desperate and have some sense about what he was doing there. Just blatant hands in the back.
It's going to be interesting to see who wins the Ross Glendinning medal this afternoon. We'll discuss that in the last quarter. But right now, Fremantle need to get urgent and just produce something for this third quarter. There's 40 seconds remaining, but it's all West Coast. Another free kick.
Have a look at West Coast Eagles running and spreading at the moment. They really are putting it to the Freo Dockers.
Lynch not quite. McPhail decides to stay. It's over and out.
Roses had 13 for the quarter. Gaff 8. Hill and Pritter 7. And for Freo, Broughton with 7. Duffield with 5. Pavlich 4.
Nancy Pearce, and amongst all that, Rose has been a good contributor as well today.
And all year, Hutto, coming back from a serious injury last year, he's had a real impact.
Jacob Brennan getting a feel for the action. There's a bit going on off the ball too with Fancy Pearce and a couple of Eagles.
Rose has had 30 disposals now. Pritter's 23, Gaff 22.
This time it's against Daniel Kerr.
Crowley's got one back.
The elbow, the umpire just Nuggets are reenacting it for him.
Kerry just wants to make sure he doesn't do anything silly here. Look at the headband. Never let a head trainer get to you with a roll of tape, boys.
Oh, McKenzie takes this one.
This is like a primary school when you played kick to kick, end to end.
Well, they stand here at Patersons Stadium and applaud the West Coast Eagles, who have turned it on. 5 goals, 6-0 in that quarter, so just the one behind. And Nick Nananui up and away, and the Eagles are just about home. Who knows what Freo can produce in the last quarter? Stay with us.